So, Andrew, why did you decide to run?
Well, you know what? It was Sean Fraser's living wage motion that got me reinterested in civic politics. I thought, that's actually a really important issue that opens up our conversation about public transportation, affordable housing. Let's see what we can do with this. I think it's something that needs to be generated through some kind of community momentum and interest. It can't just be emotion. So I thought, well, this is actually an opportunity to talk about living wages, but also to get some community support throughout the ward for such an initiative.
And I've heard a bit in your platform about your Green Regina policy. What's that all about?
Well, it's kind of a big topic. I know a lot of people talk about green initiatives, green policies. So I thought, why don't we use that as a starting point? Let's talk about how the city grows. Let's talk about how the city actually develops suburbs, residential and commercial spaces. Well, let's also use that as a way of thinking about some exciting initiatives like renewable energy, retrofitting buildings. It also forces us to think about waste management in the city. Less landfill use and expanding recycling. If we talk about Green Regina, it's also about public transportation, master transportation plan. Also forces us to think about bicycle lanes, infrastructure. So really the Green Regina platform is a gateway for other kinds of initiatives that the city's already committed to and that I'd like to see fulfilled.
And I know another thing in your platform is a lot about housing and homelessness. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, I would encourage people to start by going downtown, look at the camp that it has recently set up right next to the Salvation Army. There's not enough spaces. We have a homelessness strategy, and it deals with it through emergency rooms. It deals with it through allowing people to be homeless and on the street. It uses the justice system, forces people who have nowhere else to be out of commercial spaces downtown. So I think we can do things a bit more humanely. Homelessness is a big issue when people think about public safety and crime. I work downtown, I know about these issues. Well, that's unfortunate. People shouldn't think of homelessness and crime in the same sentence, but that's where we're at. I think the city can do a lot better.
As a last point here, can you tell me more about your arts and culture platform
Sure.
pieces?
Well, the city has already committed to something called complete communities. It's also committed to actually a pretty progressive notion of economic development. It's not just about GDP. It's not just about businesses. It's about arts, leisure centers. It's about livable communities where people can work, where they have access to public transportation. In other words, the city has a pretty advanced notion of how the city should be developing, how it should change. And arts and culture is really the lived experience of a city. It also helps to shape what it looks like. So maybe we should think about downtown development as not only commercial spaces, but art and sculpture. It's also a way of giving people in that community, in that industry, employment at livable wages. So arts and culture isn't just about theater, it isn't just about leisure centers. It actually should shape the vision of the city as we go forward.
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks.
I know you got to get back to canvassing, so I'll leave it at that.
Let's go. All right, have a nice day.
You too.